So welcome everyone to our ceremony today on August the 8th, 2021, the ceremony to honor the new moon, to honor the incredible Lionsgate and Sekhmet through the process of all this. So if you will just be sure your mics are on mute, just so we don't disturb other people. And certainly at the end, you are welcome to unmute and we talk or have questions or whatever you'd like there as we get to the end. I was saying before I started the recording, I had smudged the space here and I've sent it through the ethers to each one of you, and I'll light it again here for just a moment. I have sage, a very traditional smudging material. I have sweetgrass, and I also have mugwort in my dish today that I have been smudging all around the room. So I'm going to, it's still smoking just a bit, and I'm going to set it to the side and see where I can put these things. So welcome to those of you who are just coming in. The purpose of our ceremony is to honor Sekhmet and get some guidance and some help from her, and to acknowledge the new moon and what we need to, how we can use that new moon energy and Lionsgate. And I'll tell you about each of those as we go through this. But the purpose of us being here together is to enhance our commitment to living with love and gratitude and compassion, and to embrace who you truly are, remembering who you came to Earth to be at this specific time. There's no accident that you are here at this point in time. We each of us have a job to do, and sometimes we recognize it and sometimes we don't. So I want us to look at that as we go through this. The Lionsgate activates the heart chakra. Let me put this on speaker view since I'm recording. The Lionsgate activates the heart chakra and heart healing, and the new moon opens our intuitive creativity, and so we have all of these beautiful things happening with us, and Sekhmet is the dark goddess, one of the goddesses of the dark moon, and she sits with us in introspection, and so we'll do some of that as we go through that today. If you have a stone or a crystal with you today, and this would be a good time to smudge it. And if you don't have any smudging material, let me once again relight and just send this vibrationally. You know, this is what quantum physics is about today. We know that we can affect things as they go across. So I'm sending the smudging out to you if you're, in case you are not smudging yourself there. So I offer that smudging to you, and this would be a good time to light your candle if you have one. And I will light this one in honor of all of us. And if you have a candle, that would be lovely to bring that in. You won't be able to see it because my desk is lower than this, but just know that the candle is lit and glowing and showing, because we're in the dark of the night, even though it's the middle of the day. The interesting thing is that the moon, the moon rose this morning at I believe it was 6:30 Eastern time. not at night. This is the new moon, and it has risen. It rose this morning at 6:30, and the actual new moon moon in Leo, which is what we're talking about today, occurred just before 10 o'clock this morning. And then the moon will set tonight at 9 o'clock. So we're kind of, and this happens sometimes during the year, but we're kind of in a backwards time from what we generally think the moon will be. So that's kind of the introduction to what we're doing. And what I want to do now is to call the directions. And if you know the directions in your home, you can turn that direction if you'd like. I will turn to the directions here in my room, and the screen is not letting me see the full width of this, but I believe I know where I can stand so that you can see me. So I stand in the center. Calling on the oneness, on the divine light of all that is. And as we stand in ceremony with the new moon, we call Isis from above and Osiris from below to join as we take this journey through the medicine wheel and this journey through the ceremony. And I turn to the east. The east, the direction of the sunrise and the illumination. And in the east sits the Egyptian gods and goddesses Ra of the sun, and Sekhmet, who was in the beginning a sun goddess as well. And Tefnut sits upon the mountain, waiting for her daughter Nut to give birth to the sun each and every day. And as the sun rises, there's the Celtic Lu and Anya greeting us and calling us to honor the hearth, to hold the hearth of our heart, our home, and our body, so that we may welcome the world to us. And they send us on our way around the medicine wheel with the illumination from the east, and we turn to the south. The south is the direction of joy and laughter and love and music and harmony. And there Basset and Hathor sit to help us on the sound journey, and the Oran Moor and Bridget from the Celtic line are with us as we open our arms to the harmony, to the music, to the rhythm, to the laughter and the joy that is within us. And we say thank you. And I turn to the west, the direction of introspection, the direction where the black bear comes to take us into her cave so that we may sit and listen to the ancestors, filling us with the knowledge that we don't quite remember. And Sekhmet of the Egyptian line and the Morrigan of the Celtic line guard the entrance to the cave as we sit and gather within ourselves. And we come from the cave and we move to the north to take the knowledge from the west and turn it into wisdom consciousness. And there Ma'at stands holding her scales of justice, helping us balance what we think we know against what we really know, and finding the truth within. And Danu leads us to the truth. And with them is White Buffalo Woman, who has come to teach us how to pray, to teach us how to stand in ceremony, to teach us how to live in harmony and order with the divine oneness. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And I come full circle back to the center, back to the divine, back to the oneness, where Isis and Osiris stand, where the Kaliak of the Celtic line stand, to help us, to hold us, to guide us, if we will open ourselves to align with the divine. And I say, Aho, Amen, Ashi, blessed be, Hamdulillah, and so it is. And so welcome. Welcome to this ceremony. Welcome to this incredible day. And welcome to all that we have, that we will journey through on this trip, around the medicine wheel, out to the stars, and back again. So part of what is with us today, we're with Mother Earth, and this is a piece of lapis with other stones in it. And so I want to present this as we do our work today. We send this for healing for Mother Earth and all of her inhabitants. All of the elements, the energy of the elements are with us, the fire, the earth, the air, and the water. All of the beings of the earth, we send love and energy and healing out to them, and we say, thank you. So what came to me for this journey is a cup of tea. One of my dear friends reminded me just a few days ago. I really have been involved in herbal studies my entire life and have created many, many, many things. And so I have a new tea that has come through for this ceremony. The symbol with Lionsgate is 8. It's August 8th because that is the peak point of the energy coming through. And so there are 8 ingredients, though I didn't set out to find 8 ingredients, but 8 is what came to me. So this is rosemary, linden, oat straw, mugwort, dong quai, lavender, passion flower, and sage. And so I offer this to you. And if you have your own tea or your own water nearby, take a sip at this time. And what you're drinking in, regardless of what you're drinking at this moment, it's enhanced by the energy of the stars and the moon. And we drink it in honor of Mother Earth. It's the water. Whatever you're drinking comes from the water, originates from the water of the earth. And so we thank the Mother, we thank the earth, and I thank the herbs from the earth that came to create this drink, this day. And may that flow into your body, the energetic resonance from that tea flowing into you. So the new moon, as I said a few minutes ago, the new moon occurred at 10 o'clock this morning. The moon rose at about 6:30. It moved into Leo at just before 10 o'clock at 9:50 Eastern time, and will set tonight at 9 o'clock. And that new moon energy is with us, reminding us to sit in introspection, to consider our intentions for the month. You have a role to play in this world, a unique role. And the new moon opens your creative abilities so that you can help activate this positive effect that's coming from the new moon in Leo. And in Leo, it activates the lion energy within us. And the goddess Sekhmet journeys with us along this path today. She is the lion goddess. She was originally a sun, the goddess of the sun, along with Ra in the Egyptian line. And she is in most of her images, she has a lion face and she has a solar disk above her head because of the sun goddess aspect of her. And so she comes with us today to help us find that limitless potential of our being and help us open to the courage to move forward with our hopes and our dreams, and with that little whispering, that still small voice from within guiding you to do the things that you came here to do, reminding you who you are and where you came from. So I ask you to think right now, who am I really? What makes me different from others? How am I the same as others? What is my place in this world? A new lunar cycle has begun with the new moon, and it is one with its placement in the sky. It is one that will push our consciousness to higher levels of awareness. And with the Lionsgate energy coming into that, we are driven to lift the consciousness of the collective. So I invite you now to turn to the west. I mean, you can physically turn toward the west or just sit where you are, but in your mind and in your heart, turn to the west and go into introspection. Sit in that introspection with Sekhmet. Sit with the black bear. You are safe and secure with the Morrigan and the Sekhmet guiding you, holding you, protecting you. And for just a moment, listen to that voice within, remembering who you are. And I know that's a very short period of time, but take those thoughts with you. And after this ceremony, sit with that and listen. And right now, open your hands, hold them out, palms upward, and release from your hands, release all of the things that may be holding you back, the things that no longer serve you as you move toward your higher purpose. They may be things that are harmful to you, but they may just be the ordinary things where you forget who you are. So whatever those things are, open your hands and let them out. And with your breath, blow them away. And watch them dissipate, dissipate, dissipate. Because you are in the light of the new moon. The new moon is here to support you to let go of what needs to go away and to open yourself to the coming of the full moon, which will illuminate where you need to be and what you need to do. So we are on the cusp of Sirius, or of the, I'm sorry, we're on the cusp of Aquarius, which drives us to to advance that collective consciousness. And Sirius and Orion's belt help us shake up our unconscious behaviors. Lionsgate is when Orion's belt, and let me share my screen. I have a couple of pictures here. Let me move this up if I can get it to cooperate. Okay, come on, move over. I'm having trouble moving it. Well, there's the moon. I did not didn't bring that one up, but the full moon all the way down as it disappears. Here we go. Let's see if I can move it over. There we go. There we go. Okay. So this is the a picture of the pyramids in Giza, and the pyramids are aligned to Orion's belt and to Sirius. And Orion's belt is called Orion the Hunter. And this is, these are where the stars are that are in Orion's belt. And this one is really hard to really comprehend all this. But I just want you to see that this is Orion's belt, and all the way down here is Sirius, all the way down. So Sirius is down here in the imagery that we have in the stars of Orion's belt. And this is how Orion looks in the sky. And the drawings have been penciled in so that you can sort of see the placement of it. But this one, let me one more down. This is my favorite view of the panorama of Orion's belt. So this is what Lionsgate is about. It's about the placement of where we are moving around the sun, in our atmosphere, and Orion's belt is closer to the Earth right now, and Sirius is the star that's right there with us at and it appears to be very close, though it's obviously not literally close, but it's closer to the Earth. And so this period happens every year from about July the 28th till about August the 12th. It's called the Lionsgate portal because it's open and this flow of energy comes to us. And the peak of that energy from the portal is today, August the 8th. So Sirius moves closer to the Earth and aligns with Orion's belt. And this year, the new moon comes on the same day as the peak. So, and this is not just something in astrology that we talk about. It's in scientifically in astronomy as well. So we have astronomy, astrology, and numerology coming into play with Lionsgate. So, and because of that placement, the alignment, the energy pours in and magnifies our creativity and opens our heart center. So we have that alignment and with the pyramid, but by far the Egyptians were not the only people who honored and recognized and paid attention to Sirius. As many of you know, I delve deeply into both the pre-Irish and the ancient Egyptian line, and the ancient Irish also honored Sirius. Newgrange has a window box where on winter solstice the sun shines directly in through that. Sirius also shines through that box. And almost every indigenous culture that we have information about or legends and stories about really have something in their history in relationship to Sirius. So it's not just something that's come about with a new age. It's something that's been around for a very, very, very long time. Sirius is synonymous with rebirth and abundance. And when it rises this time of the year, it it's symbolic of the rising of our consciousness and the rising of our spiritual awareness. So this would be an important time. If you have a rock or a crystal with you, pick up your crystal and hold it in your hand. And look at the screen with all the stars that are showing. And hold that crystal. Hold it in your hand or both hands and bring it toward your heart. And we say, divine light, shine down upon this crystal. Fill this crystal with the brilliant light of Sirius, with the healing energy of Sirius, with the divine energy to open our hearts, to heal our hearts, to fill us with the love that is the true love, the unconditional love of the Creator, a love beyond what most of us as humans can even begin to understand. Fill this crystal with that divine love. Fill it with healing light. Fill it with courage so that we may stand up, so that we may remember who we are, so that we may act on the guidance of the divine. It may be a hard road to follow, but give us the courage to take hold of this crystal and know that the divine is with us and guiding us and holding us. And so just hold it there at your heart for just a moment, letting that settle in, and add your own prayer of thanksgiving. And say thank you. And you can continue holding the crystal or place it beside you, whichever feels best to do. It's time. It's time for us now to unblock that internal river that keeps us from understanding who we are and holds us back and lets us believe that fear is real. It's time to let the harmony flow through us. It's time to let to break the dams and let that energy flow. Let the water flow, let the energy flow. Let the rhythm come through. It's time to flood our bodies and our fields. Sirius came with the rising of the Nile and flooded the fields. It's time now to let Sirius flood our fields, flood our bodies, flood our minds with love at the deepest level, taking the love in to the deepest place, to the cellular level. And so I invite you now to go into meditation. Hathor is the Egyptian goddess of sound. and love and music and rhythm. And I have a sistrum similar to what Hathor's original sistrum might have been. So I will rattle her sistrum for you. And in just a minute, I'll do some chanting to draw us closer to the flow of harmony with the divine and the flow of the energy coming through from Sirius. So hold that thought of the crystal, or hold it physically in your hand, and go within, listening, listening, listening. Go deep into the introspection. Go with the dark goddess into the dark moon. So with the light of the dark moon and the light of Sirius, feel that bright vibration coming into you and holding you. Connecting you with the heaven and the earth, connecting you with above, where Isis dwells, connecting you with below, where Osiris dwells, coming into the center, bringing in all that you are, human and divine, the world of matter, the world of spirit, all of what you are. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. And if you haven't already, if you're not already holding your crystal, take it into your hand now. Still in that deep place, far away yet near, I want to invite you to bring in the energy in a physical way, bringing in the energy from the other world into this world. As our candle burns, as our tea runs through our body systems, as Sekhmet and Hathor stand with us and hold us. And I invite you to just watch the movements that I'm doing and make these movements with me if it holds true to you. And so I hold my hands upward, releasing what I need to let go, but at the same time receiving the light of the divine. And I turn my hands downward, letting the energy flow through me, not from me, to the earth. And I bring my hands to my heart and lift my arms in the form of a chalice, open for the light to flow in. And so we ask the light, the silver light of the moon, to flow into our chalice. That light that is darkness, but light at the same time, flowing to open us to receive from the moon and from the divine all that needs to come through to enlighten us, all that needs to come through for our opening. And then tilt your body to the side, letting that chalice pour out onto the earth, to Mother Earth and all of her beings. The silver light of the moon pours out and fills all around. And rising back to the center with your chalice arms open again. And the light of the sun comes to fill the chalice now. Our sun in our solar system is the light of our physical world. And Sirius is the sun light of our spiritual world. So the light, the golden light of our sun and the golden light of Sirius fills our chalice. fills it to overflowing, flowing down around our body. And we tilt ourselves to that side, the other side, pouring out that chalice out again to Mother Earth and all her beings. And we come back to center. And we open our arms out wide and gather that energy of the silver light and the golden light from the moon and the suns and bring it into our hearts. And take a deep breath in with that golden and silver light surrounding and enfolding, swirling and twirling around your body, your physical body, your etheric body. And open your hands, saying thank you as you open them. Let your hands come back, raise your hands above your head. And if you can, even in your chair, lean toward the earth. I'm going all the way down, touching the floor. If you can, touch your feet, connect your hands to your feet, connecting heaven with earth. Saying thank you. And rising again. Coming back in and bringing your arms around, folding over you into the hug, holding yourself with all this loving energy, and bow your head over to honor the sun and the moon, to honor Sirius and our sun, to honor the divine, our creator, the maker of us all, and coming back to your heart. Saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we've come now full circle. We've gone with the moon, we've gone with the sun, we've gone with Sirius into Orion's belt. So take your stone in your hand again and just let it contain all the memories of this ceremony today. And so every time you see that stone or every time you touch that stone, the memories of what you have brought forth, the memory of who you truly are, comes through that stone and shines brightly to illuminate your path, to open your heart, to let you be all you came here to be. Thank you. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here for this ceremony today. I'd like to, and I know sometimes when you go into these, you're a little too far out to speak easily, but I would like to see if there are any questions or comments or discussion that anyone would like to start. Just, I don't know that I can see everyone, but if you can wave at me or if you can hit those little icons to say that you want to speak, that would be good. Anyone? Okay, Deborah, go ahead. Deborah Reeves.
Hi, I'm new and I loved your presentation. It was just beautiful. I'm a religious science minister in Ajijic, Mexico. And I just spiritually knew this was a beautiful time, not only with you, but the whole world. And I loved the way you led it and anchored it. And it was very powerful, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll be interested in watching and following other events that you offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I will post the recording on the website so you can go back and watch it again. Carolyn, did you have your hand up? No, I thought I saw some movement there. Yes. Anyone else? Just you can, because I'm not sure that I'm seeing, because there are at least two screens worth. And so if you're waving at me, I may not be seeing you, but go ahead and just unmute yourself if you'd like to say something or ask a question.
I just want to say, wow, Peggy, and thank you. I don't have a lot of words for it right now, but it just centered me so much in the truth. So thank you so much.
Mm, yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? Just go ahead and feel free to unmute yourself and go ahead, Maggie.
Peggy, that was magnificent, truly gorgeous. And of course, I've done a lot of your meditations and classes, and this seemed like a pinnacle of all that you've done over the past 2 years, at least, or 4 or 5 or 20. I feel like we've reached the peak of something. It was spectacular. And it was very interesting. I have an altar full of stones that mean a lot to me. But when you asked us to get a stone, I was surprised that I gathered in my hand a stone that was given to me when I was in my early 30s. So that's 40 years ago. And it's an amethyst that has it has something inside that sparkles, and you can see that there's stones inside of stones. Well, when I took this stone into my hand, it was like coming back to who I really am, because I've carried this stone with me since, the beginning of my awakening, really. But I haven't paid any attention to it. So here it is again. So I feel like it's full circle for me to have infused this stone with the experience of today. So thank you so much. That was just wonderful.
Thank you, Maggie. Anyone else? Any questions about anything?
Peggy, hi.
Hi.
My name is Michaela, and I'm interested in finding how do you work with Sekhmet with her energy?
Well, Sekhmet's been following me, and sometimes following, sometimes pushing, sometimes shoving. But she's been with me for a really long time. I started my journeys to Egypt 3 years ago, and she was right there. Though I was very acutely aware of her prior to going, but it's just like she's always with me, and I really work with her, particularly in the West. I work with the medicine wheel, daily, and I work with her in the West because the West for me is where I go into prayer and meditation, and I sit in that place of introspection, and so the energy flowing through, and she's part of that energy. I see both Sekhmet and the Morrigan is such very similar energies out of the pre-Celtic and the early Egyptian line. And they are both warriors, but they're also the protectors of women and children. Sekhmet was the protector of the Pharaoh. So she's fierce. She's fierce. And when I want to waver a little bit, she's there to give me, that kick and say, "What are you doing? Stand up. Be who you truly are." And so she's a little rough, but it, you know, we need that right now. It's too easy to slip out of who we truly are. It's too easy to slide away from our true purpose here. And so for me, Sekhmet is there to not let me fall asleep. She keeps me awake.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Anything that you'd like to say or ask?
Peggy, thank you so much. I just want to say this was just beautiful. And my question for you is, when you were using the rattle,
Mhm.
yeah, it was very powerful. I could just feel the energy just coming through me. And can you tell me a little bit about the rattle?
Well, I've been looking for a Hathor's sistrum for a while, and they're very expensive. And I don't mean that the artisans are not worth large amounts of money, but I just feel like being a part of the earth is, I want whatever I'm using to be as close to the earth as possible. This one is called an African sistrum, a traditional African sistrum. And it's just a piece of wood that's been split, and I'm sure soaked to keep it in, you know, open, and a piece of wood across there. And these are, as I understand it, are flattened bottle caps, like off drinks. And you know, there would have been some sort of a piece of metal in the original sistrum, and I think the sistrum probably maybe was, I'm not sure what material it was made of, but it would have had a sound something like that, because it would have had these rattling kinds of things with it. And of course, this is very much like rattles that many shamans use in various traditions. I have a really small one that a Native American friend made for me. And I believe that this is a walnut shell. And the leather was wet and wrapped around it and tightened around it. And I don't know what's inside it, but it has a beautiful sound. And I really like using it for myself, but it's not quite loud enough to do in ceremony or especially online. But this one just, oh, it rings. It's that harmony, that rhythm. I feel it in my bones when this rattles. Yeah.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Peggy, I don't have a question per se, but I would like to say thank you. A profound thank you for the ceremony that you led us through today. And it was done in such a loving way and simply bringing us through all the directions and through all the in Orion and all that is present with us. So like to say thank you is almost like so simple, and yet I know that in your heart you can receive the energy of it for your work. I'm new to your work, and I appreciate what I experienced today, all of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone, and I don't want to cut anyone off. If anyone wants to say something else, jump right in.
Peggy, it's Kim again I'm just curious how you connect with Hathor.
Oh, well, okay, so I found when I was in Egypt, as soon as I hit the ground, the very first time I was there, you know, the goddess of Egypt herself, a nameless goddess, just came up to me and slammed herself into my body. I'd had this beautiful, soft, gentle goddess that met me in Ireland and says, "Oh, welcome, my daughter." But no, this goddess came stomping up and said, "What took you so long?" And says, "I've got you now and I'll never let you go." And from that point forward to this day, I feel Isis behind me, Hathor to one side and Sekhmet on the other side. Just like everything I do, I feel like they are right there with me, and as well as their Celtic counterparts, I feel them present as well. But the three of them are just always there with me. And Hathor is that, you know, that goddess of love and music and dance and rhythm. And she's like Sekhmet, but she's opposite of Sekhmet. And so I see the two of them keeping me on the path. The one reminding me, you know, when I get too morose or too into the introspection, there's Sekhmet singing and dancing and saying, "Come on, you have to laugh through this too." And then when I'm laughing too much or, you know, playing too much or just kind of off base, there's Sekhmet snatching me back in saying, "Wake up, got to put it." And Isis is there to keep it all in balance.
Beautiful.
So
And who is the Celtic counterpart to Hathor? I missed that.
Bridget.
Bridget. Okay.
Yeah, Bridget of creativity and Bridget of rhythm and Bridget of crafting. And, you know, I mean, there's a lot there in terms of the aspects that you learn about, you know, about the goddesses. But more than that, for me, it's the energetically, I feel Bridget and Hathor are very much in alignment, that what they teach feels the same, just like the
Understood.
Morrigan and Sekhmet feel the same to me.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Ah. Anything else, anybody? Well, I am just really, really grateful for each of you who've come today. This was just magnificent, and I feel your energy through this, and I'm so appreciative that you've been here. This was it's the first time I've done this, the Lionsgate, and I've done Celtic ceremonies for a very long time. I used to do them in person on my land here, but we've had a change of life, and so it just came to me that it was time to do this when I did do a full moon ceremony sponsored by Women's Spirit a couple of weeks ago, and then as the new moon was coming, and then I knew that Lionsgate was coming, it just came to me that this is time to do a ceremony that that I can open online for people to come to. So thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. Yeah. Anyone else before we sign off? Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Peggy, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah.
I could tell how much work went into this. And it was brilliant, truly brilliant.